Hello, party people. Welcome to the podcast this week. I'm bringing some heavy energy of tired, and that's why I felt like I should say party people because I really need to channel some extra energy.
I just had a total giggle laugh fest before I push record because I never know how Shelby's going to introduce.
Honestly, I think most of the time I don't know how I'm going to introduce. It's just like all of a sudden I just say something random and stressful. I don't
Well,
even
welcome
know.
everyone. Happy that you're here.
I don't know if anyone else actually I already know everyone feels this way. January is in that like week period where it's been the longest month ever and we think it's the last week of January, but it's actually still the third week of January. So by the time you guys listen to this next week, thank God, hallelujah, bless up to the Lord above. It'll be the final week of January.
Yeah, I know. In our voice note today, I was like, I don't even know what the hell today is. Like, I really don't.
Seriously.
January is such a confusing month to me for some reason.
It's so confusing. It feels honestly like the longest month. And then like today I had a hair appointment and we were scheduling like my next appointment. And she was like, what about this day? And I'm like looking through and I was like, no way, that's 8 weeks away. And she's or 7 weeks away. And she's like, yeah, it is. And I was like, February is like the tiniest month possible. And January's lasted literally 16 years. Like I'm
I
gonna
know.
blink and February is gonna be over.
I know. Do you know our cruise was like,
A month ago.
was it? Oh my God, it was. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago.
No, it's still,
Oh
it's
my
been officially a
God.
month.
Christmas was a month ago. That's so weird. That feels like it was so long.
I know January is such a trip, honestly. I didn't realize it until this week when I was like low energy, low vibes, and I was like, what is going on? And also, I will say maybe my low vibes is I went and saw the witch doctor this week and she was doing energy work on me and she literally was like, you have an attachment, like almost immediately. And I was like laying there, like, what the fuck? I'm like, eyes closed, like, what the fuck is an attachment? And I was like, an attachment. And so I'm like, I have like these spiral like brain moments whenever I'm supposed to be like calm and doing stuff, but I was like, do I have an attachment to wine? Like, do I have an attachment to food? Like, what kind of attachment is she talking about? An attachment to the beach? Of fucking course. Like, my brain was just like jumping from thing to thing, like an attachment. Like, what is she talking about? And then she told me that I had an entity attached to me and she cleared him and it went away. And she sent it back to some fucking mother. I don't know her name, primordial mother.
Primordial.
And she's gonna get him right, but she doesn't know where he came from, how he got there. She doesn't know where I was that he attached to me. And I was like, what the fuck? But honestly, I still feel like maybe I have an attachment now. I'm like so tired. I have negative fucking energy. I don't even understand. It was so weird.
Like you had him before.
Honestly, I don't know. I do know that like I was having a lot of like high energy vibes for a while, and then suddenly like the last couple days something has changed and I don't know why. Honestly, I was just thinking I was starting to get my period soon.
Maybe
But
he's like a menstrual monster
it's like
attachment.
I have been like barely having an appetite, not even hungry, losing weight, and then suddenly like the last couple days I've been like, yeah, I could fucking eat. So I was like, maybe I'm just getting my period. So I'm really fucking confused. But then today I still have like this weird, tired, low energy, and now I'm just confused that the entity's back. I don't
Well,
know,
thank God for Judy saving us from the entities.
honestly. But like that was so creepy.
That is creepy. When you text me that, I was like, what?
Yeah,
Scary.
freak.
Well, besides that, how was your week?
Honestly, again, I don't really understand what day it is or what's happening in life. I feel like I'm really looking forward to this month ending and nothing impactful has happened. Like when I was voice noting you, I was like, I feel like we had nothing to say. Like like how did our life get so weird all of a sudden that like no words are coming out?
And then I came in hot yesterday all day, was like, I had so much to say. I always have so much to say. I never run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Yeah, my week's been fine. What about yours?
It's been fine. I had Monday off for Martin Luther King Day. I slept 80% of the day, probably. I was so
Jealous.
tired and desperately needed that. And then I had a big burst of energy yesterday, and it really hasn't gone away. So I'm glad about that.
I mean, I feel like sleeping a lot, it was probably helpful. I was actually just thinking today, almost just like like probably like 30 minutes ago, I was like, I really need to find some space this weekend for rest. Like I feel like I've been going and like living in a weird chaotic state, and I think that's where my low vibe energy is. Like I just want to like chill this weekend once Henley's competition's done. I just want to like sleep.
Mhm. Yeah, I am going on my first ever work conference this weekend. I'm so excited. I'm always jealous of all these people that get to go on work trips. And now I get to. I'm going to a psychedelic conference in Salt Lake City, and I'm so stoked about it.
Okay, but can we just like laugh for a second that it's just in fucking Salt Lake?
No, I wish, I know. I wish it was a different state, but I'll take it because people who live in Cache Valley don't leave Cache Valley. So it's like a big
Yeah,
deal.
it's a
And I'm
start.
so excited. And if you guys know who East Forest is, he does like a lot of like music for mushrooms and like yoga music and stuff. Anyways, we're seeing him perform tomorrow night, and I'm so stoked.
I think it's silly that this person's like a thing that's like performing at a concert venue here. Like I didn't realize that people like that like went on concerts.
I know. I honestly, we were talking today at work and we're like, we have no idea what to expect. It seems a little like messy. And we're like, it's either going to be super fun or we're going to be just surrounded by weirdos. But either way, it's going to be really fun. So,
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be interesting for sure.
yeah,
For
yeah.
show, for show. I feel like for the last hour I've had like a hair in my shirt and I've checked a million times. I've taken my shirt off. I'm telling you, there's no fucking hair. Like I don't know what is happening. I have like a phantom hair in my shirt.
Your entity trying
I
to
was
tell
just gonna
you.
say, like maybe my entity is just like tickling my tits or something. Like
Like a tit tickler and entity. I can't say that word. It's
could
hard.
you imagine it? Maybe that's why my nipples always get hard. My entity's like tune in the radio station.
Oh my God. Ew. Anyways, on that note, any other
Wow.
updates for us?
Yes, I have two things I need to say. The first thing I need to say is I don't know what's happened or why it's happened. I'm on such a Lil Wayne kick right now. I
Little
don't
Wayne?
know.
I'm not expecting that at all.
I know, but I've almost like forgotten about some of his songs. I think it's because I did a Peloton ride the other day. I think they had a Lil Wayne series, and I was doing a ride or something, and I was like, God damn, this music really like. And it took me a couple days. I think I did that like 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden I saw like this playlist called like 2000s booty something booty shakers on Spotify, and I was like, damn, I need some 2000s booty shaking music. So I turned it on. And then now I'm back to Lil Wayne, and now I'm listening to Lil Wayne radio. Like I don't know what's happened, but if anyone needs some, maybe that's why I have weird energy right now. It's so gangster.
Maybe you're not living your full gangster life.
I don't know. Anyways, I just needed to share that with everyone so that people could know I'm a freak.
Weird.
Um, and the other thing I wanted to say is I have a question for you. And I think I was listening to a podcast that had this question, and that's why I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask Taylor if she knows this,
Oh my
slash my
God, I'm
listeners.
scared.
What is the number one regret on people's deathbeds?
Probably, I think I've heard this before. Is it spending like too much time at work?
No, that's a silly one. I would never have thought of that.
What is it?
That they don't live life to the fullest, that they like
Mm.
stayed stuck in situations, didn't take chances, stayed super basic. But it was like this, I don't remember what the fuck was I listening. I know what I was listening to. It was a podcast with, I don't even know this guy, Harry something, Jowsey. He's on like a bunch of dating shows or something. He was on Kristen Cavallari's podcast. He's actually really funny. And I love his accent. He's from New Zealand, but his dad just passed, and New Zealand has like these really beautiful like spiritual ceremonies and things like that when people pass. I didn't realize New Zealand was like such a spiritual place. And he was the one talking about like, I don't remember where the information came from, but that's like what most of the people said, is that people like didn't, they like regretted that they stayed in like basic life and just thought they had like every day to keep living. And I was like, interesting. Like I guess I would see that, but it wouldn't be the number one thing that I would think of.
Yeah.
Crazy,
Huh.
huh?
Interesting. That is.
I know. I thought it was interesting. And I was like, I'm gonna ask it because I bet most people have some weird ass spent too much time at work answer.
feel like I've like heard that before. I'm like, I don't know, where just around. And that was like people were like, I worried too much about work and like missed family time and missed time with friends because I was at work.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you spend so much time working. It's crazy.
Hmm. Hmm.
America's crazy. Anyways, those are the only two things I had to say.
Okay, so then I'll start getting into our topic, but I do have one question. Have you seen, you haven't really been on TikTok a lot because I've sent you a lot of TikToks that have not been seen,
I
but
saw them today.
okay, they were good ones. But have you seen what's going around? Oh, you guys, by the way, TikTok is back. Thank God. That was our last episode. We thought it would be gone. And I mean, that was a long 12 hours, but I survived. I was fine. I would be fine without TikTok. But, anyways, of Billy Ray Cyrus at the inauguration, how messed up he was. Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley Cyrus's dad.
Did you send me that?
No, but I should. Have you not seen it?
No, the only thing I've
He
seen
is
is
so unwell.
some more nonsense about Justin and Blake Lively's lawsuit. I haven't watched any of it. It seems like that's all that's on my feed. And then I
Wow,
saw
because
something,
I've sent you all those.
and then I saw something about, yeah, I didn't watch them. I don't want to know the drama. I just need you to update me. I saw something about Elon Musk like doing something fucking weird and people like saying he was changing his like bot suit or some dumb shit. Like I don't even know.
Well, Billy Ray Cyrus is not well, and he was like trying to sing a cappella, but he like couldn't form words, and he looks like he just rolled out of the freaking gutter. Like he's
Ew.
so gross. I will send you a video after so you can see. He's disgusting. He is really not well. And I guess his son like made a post on Instagram today, like begging him to get help. He's like a super big drug addict or something, apparently, allegedly.
I saw something about this. I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok because I was on both today, but it was like something. I didn't know that his son was adopted. And his son was saying like he was like his biggest role model. He looked up to him and he's like, now I don't even know who this guy is. Like it was really
Yeah,
sad.
he's really not well. He's
He's
not
fucking
well.
gross.
I know. He is. But yeah, he was like married to some girl that was on Hannah Montana who's like his daughter's age, and that's creepy.
What?
Yeah, he was like, they're not married anymore. They were only married like real quick and then they ended it. But he was like, it was like a girl on Hannah Montana who he like knew when she was younger. And that's weird. I'm sorry.
Is he a perv? Did he molest Miley and that's why she's been crazy?
No, I don't know. So strange.
Their family's a bit fucked, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Apparently,
Didn't his wife or his ex-wife like steal the daughter's
the daughter's
boyfriend? Even,
boyfriend.
but
Yeah,
he was super old because Noah Cyrus is really young. And what's that guy? He's on Fast and the Furious, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he is. I'd fuck him. He's so cute. Um,
Ooh, I'm Fast and Furious. R.I.P. Paul Walker
Dominic is his name. He's
from Fast
bald.
and Furious 3.
I don't know what he's
Oh,
on.
Jason State. No, I don't
What's
know.
his
I'm
name?
gonna have to
Let me
look into
Google it.
this.
Anyways,
Dominic,
wasn't Noah
Dominic's
Cyrus dating him?
diesel, dude. She's dating Vin
Oh,
Diesel.
no, she's not dating him. He's on something else. What is this movie I'm thinking of?
I'm like, wait, Vin Diesel? That's Dominic.
Oh, he was on this movie or this TV show I watched where these brothers are like breaking our prison or something. His name's
Oh,
Dominic
Prison Break.
Purcell.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. He used to date that girl in 90210, like the reboot of
Well,
90210 with the curly hair. Annalise?
oh my gosh, really? I love
Yeah.
that show. Oh my God, he's so old. Did you see that what's that show is on Netflix? We used to watch
Yeah.
Younger. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
I
Okay, he was
know.
born in 1970. That's so old.
That's really not that old.
That is so old. He's 54 years old. So I just remember that he was dating Noah Cyrus and then the mom stole
Okay,
him.
that's old to be dating Noah Cyrus because she's like my sister's age.
Yeah, she's a baby. She
Wow,
still
you
thinks she's a
guys,
baby.
sorry for untangling all of Cyrus's life for you know.
Okay, but I would fuck that guy. He's hot.
Ew. I think he's gross. He's too old for me. He's not tall and skinny, probably isn't covered in tattoos and possibly on drugs. So that's my
That's
type.
I do think he's short and that's like a bit of a problem for me, but again, he's really strong and he's tan and like, oh, he's 6'1". Okay, that's doable. Tish, sign me up. Taking your man.
I'm just
Now
gonna
you'll know
say,
how Noah
watch
felt.
out. Here she comes. Well, you guys, welcome to my brain. Now you know about the whole Cyrus family. So that's our episode. See ya.
Bye.
Okay. Well, my news for this week is something that will lead into our oh my gosh, topic. You guys are going to be hearing a lot of my voice. So sorry about it, but that's fine. So the other day I was doing a walk on Peloton. Honestly, Peloton is like the Bible. Like it really is the best. So my therapist, yes, yesterday, he had food poisoning, so he had to cancel my therapy appointment, which ended up being fine because I had so much to do yesterday. But anyway, so I did a Peloton walk and it was really like therapy. It was with Jess King. Honestly, you guys, if you want like a free 60-day pass thing for Peloton, you don't even have to have the equipment. You can do it at the gym. Let me know. I'll send it to you. So this walk was really great. She was having us like wiggle our fingers and put energy over us and like just doing all this fun stuff. And I had to go back and rewatch this walk and then type it out what she said because I really wanted to share it with you guys. So towards like the middle part of the walk, we did like a really hard incline with like a power walk. And then we brought it down and we put our speed, our incline was at 0 and we put our speed from 2 to 3. And she was like, I know that this is going to feel like it's easy, but I want you to notice if it feels like it's too easy. If your moments of stillness feel too easy or like you're needing to be doing more, this is your trauma speaking. Our inability to value what feels simple. This is the call you have to answer. You are worthy of experiencing your life with ease instead of so much discomfort. Allow yourself moments to just be. Don't push to be better, just be where you are at. And I loved that so much because I was thinking as I was walking, I was like, damn, this is way easy. Like, I want to keep my heart rate up. I want to do this, this, and this. I want to like make my distance faster, like all these things. And she said that. And I was like, okay, like I'm just going to sit here for I think it was like 2 or 3 minutes that she had us do it. And I just thought it was really beautiful. So I wanted to share that with you guys because really Peloton is the freaking Bible to me. So thanks. Thanks, Jess King.
Honestly, I fucking hate Jess King so fucking much, but I do think she's pretty. You did say that in a voice note. Something about her bothers me so much. Like I think it's because she used to do all these rides and stuff where she was like so extra and she just has some crazy weird energy, but honestly, back to like the point, Peloton, every time I do a workout, the instructors will say something that I'm just like, I needed to hear that today. Like it is so empowering and just like comforting. I recently got this like party speaker for Christmas that's for karaoke. And so I haven't been doing a lot of like instructor classes, and a lot of my instructors that I love have been like traveling. Um, but like, so I've been mostly just like listening to music really loud because I'm obsessed with this fucking speaker. I love music. It is so therapeutic. Have not put Lil Wayne on there, but so I haven't been doing a lot of instructor workouts, and I've noticed that like my workouts feel like sad because of it. Like I don't have that like motivation that they're giving me. So then I did a ride. Cody had a ride the other day and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I just felt so much happier. Like hearing his jokes, hearing his motivation words, like it's really weird how going from like not having that to then suddenly hearing someone like inspiring you. I was like, it's crazy that people are missing out on this. Like Peloton is no fucking joke, you guys. We've
Yeah.
talked about it. We've had the podcast for 4 years and we've been Pelotoners for at least 4 years. Like you guys really should jump on the train.
For real. I don't know, that really just like hit me. She said a bunch of other stuff too. Like the whole walk was so amazing, but that like really hit me that I was like, oh my gosh, this goes perfect with our topic today. And I just feel like people need to hear that it's okay to like not push to be better and like have moments of stillness that you're just exactly how you are. So
Is this the reason that you wanted to have this topic, or did something, I feel like for some reason something else happened that made you wanted to have this topic? No?
No, so our topic is about intention, and it's kind of been a thing that I've been asked a lot in probably the last month from patients at work, from clients at yoga. And then our last podcast episode, we said intention a lot. And I was like, hey, like I need to explain, like do a deep dive on intention, because a lot of people don't know what intentions are, how to set intentions, how to work with intentions. So yeah, it kind of just went hand in hand with the walk that I had yesterday. And I was like, okay, this is the time to do the episode on intention. So
Yeah, it was interesting when you brought that up to me, like that we should talk about it and like the people had questions because I'd never actually had thought about it. And like it really
mhm,
is like an actual like term that has a lot of substance to it, but we talk about it like so flippantly. And
mhm.
I think so many people don't even know what it means.
Yeah. This is probably my number one question that I get in all aspects of my life is, what is an intention? How do I set an intention? So we're going to do a deep dive today.
Yep.
So let me clear my throat. Okay.
Let me clear my throat.
Is that Little Wayne or no?
No, but that song came to my mind like a couple years ago when I was going to the liquor store with my friend. And we were like, oh my God, we should listen to it. That song is actually so fucking lame. It barely says, let me clear my throat. And then it's just like a bunch of like weird 90s rap that we were like, I don't know anything else about this song.
I know. You just know that it played at the club and people went crazy when we were 21.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, so what is an intention? So, the actual definition of intention, so the actual psychology definition, is a mental state that involves a commitment to do a course of action. This is a conscious decision to perform a behavior or a way to direct your thoughts or behaviors. So, your intention could be something like intending to go to the store tomorrow. It could be intending to talk to somebody about something serious. And yeah, that's kind of like the intention. So the word of the year that I had last year for 2024, like I mentioned last episode, was intentional. That word was more of a blanket statement for me going into any situation or thing that I was doing. I would pause and be like, okay, what is my intention going into this? What is my intention of doing this? So, having that word, I think I mentioned our last podcast episode how like transforming it was in my life last year, and how it really, I don't know, I feel like it created like a whole new life for me, because it really just made me stop and think about what I was doing or what I was committing myself to, and just taking like that second to be like, what is my intention with this? So, words of the year are also a big form of intention setting. So, that's kind of like an overall definition of intention, but I'm going to go a little deeper and talk about daily intentions, because this is something that I do every single day. I do it for my patients, I do it for my clients at work. I sometimes, like, if somebody needs like a little extra, I will set an intention for them. So, this is a very, very big part of my life. So,
Before you start, what I would add too is like intention sometimes because like intention is like talked about so much like we were just saying, and like the definition alone also has like so much substance to it. I think a way that you could also simplify it for yourself, if that word, like I'm big on like sometimes words just fucking trigger me. Sometimes a word is just like that's too much, I don't enjoy it, it's overwhelming me for whatever reason. So I think a way that you could make it simpler for you or make it more comfortable is to just also think of like, what is my purpose, what is the purpose going into this? So Taylor already said like, what is my intention with this day or this thing that I'm about to do? You could also say like, what's my purpose going into this? Like, what am I trying? What action do I want? What energy do I want? What behaviors do I want? It's just like something to give you clarity of like why you're actually doing something. So a lot of times like we're on autopilot. If you think about it, you're just like going throughout your day. And so if you like stop and try and like pause for a moment and just think like, why am I doing this thing that I'm doing? Why did I say yes to this? Why did I say no? What is my purpose being here? How do I want to show up? And like if you think of it more of that way too, it might make a little bit more sense if this is like a foreign topic to you.
yeah, for sure. So, a daily intention is a conscious choice about how you want to show up and behave, essentially setting a mindful focus on a specific quality or attitude that you want to cultivate throughout the day. This can help guide your actions, your attitude, your energy, and any decisions that you have throughout the day. A daily intention practice is about being instead of achieving something. So, some examples could be I am present today. I will celebrate small victories today. I am positive today. I personally always set my intentions as an I am statement. So, kind of how Shelby and I talk about our 10 things that we journal as if they have already happened. This is the same idea. An I am statement is saying, this is who I am, even if you're not. Like, I think a few years ago, we wrote in our journals, like, I am the most positive person in the room or something like that. And
In
even
my
though we
life.
were, yeah, even though we were in a very like negative spot in our life, having that to focus on every day was something so powerful. So I am statements are something that I use all the time. I do not ever set an intention without it being an I am statement. So this using the I am statement is about who you are rather than who you wish to be. So I will be a positive person or I am a positive person. There's a big difference in those words.
Something that the witch has also said to me too, which is way fucking above my head and like something I'll probably never fully understand. She like people will say I'm, and she says that I'm is also like a negative way of like, I don't know how she explained it. It's so fucking confusing, but you need to say I am, because if you're saying I'm, it completely changes the trajectory of like what you're trying to manifest or be or do as well. Like it brings a different energy. And so she's like, always say I am, and like don't use filler words. Be like, I am positive. I am, like don't add like extra words like Americans always do. So that's something that she also taught me that I've been like trying to be like, okay, less things. Don't say I'm, say I am.
Yeah, that's actually, it comes from yoga and it comes from Hinduism and Buddhism is the I am statements. There's a chant you can do. I can't remember the Sanskrit word for it right now, but there's a chant that you can do and it's I am, and then you fill in the blank. But yeah, that comes from yoga teaching. So fun fact.
Also, now that you just said something, I just remembered that Judy was singing to me when she was doing energy work, and it was so fucking weird. I just remembered this. Do
Does
you
she
do
have a
that?
good voice? Do I sing?
Like, do you do these like weird little like when you said chant, like what is a chant? Like a yoga
Oh,
chant.
like a chant is like, I don't know, like Om is a chant. Like
Oh, okay. No.
Om.
It
Some
it
people do
was
sing
like
chants.
it
Yeah.
was like a whole singing thing, and I just got so stressed that you're like out there fucking singing in yoga class like she did to me. That was, I'm telling you, I was laying there, I was like, wow, this is new.
No, some people do sing chants. Some people just like chant them, but chants are very like they are kind of sing-songy. If I'm in a group, I'll kind of like meh, like whatever, but I just sing karaoke.
I would just bust out Lil Wayne at this point.
You probably would. Bust out.
Well, sorry. I really needed to clarify if you were a singer.
Okay, so why do you want to set an intention? So, intentions are a really great self development tool. And they really help with your self awareness. If you are wanting to work on your mindset, how we kind of mentioned last episode, if you have more of a fixed mindset, this is a very growth mindset activity. And it's a very easy place to start, and it's free. So it's something that you can bring into your life every day, every week, like whatever, wherever you want to start. But this is a very easy way to start shifting that mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And
Wait, before you go into that too, I think that people should also understand that intentions and goals are also different. So like I think that sometimes people think that a goal is their intention, or like I think fixed mindset and growth mindset also are like very similar. Like there's these weird little nuances where people think they're kind of the same thing or whatever, they're not really exploring them. So I think that we should make sure that we talk about like goals and intentions also being separate.
yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up. Goals and intentions are separate. So I see intentions, and again, like this is my opinion. Other people may see things differently, but my opinion is I see intentions as who you want to be every day. So I'll come back because this is going to lead
Yeah.
into it. Okay, so with my daily intention practice, I have a kind of intense thing, but I've built upon it. So I think we have an episode in the past about micro habits. Just start if you've never done this before, don't jump in and start how I start because mine is a little intense. I am going to go through like my morning routine, I guess. But start at the micro level of just choosing an I am statement and saying that every day. Write it down in your journal if you're a writer. Put it in your phone, like whatever you need to do to remember your intention. How I start my mornings is I start with an activation. So the Superhuman app, I'm going to share this all on my Instagram as well. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram. I'll tag the podcast page too. But I've had a lot of people throughout my moon circles ask me these questions. So again, perfect time to talk about this in this episode. So I start with activation. Right when I wake up, with the Superhuman app, I choose one. I don't really have a process of choosing one. I just find one that looks good and I turn that on. As I'm like waking up, I brush my teeth, get ready, listen to that activation. And then I switch after that activation is over. I switch to a frequency, just a sound you can find on Spotify. If you type in frequencies, a bunch of different frequencies will come up, and I put that on as I'm showering, as I'm getting ready, all of the things. And then I do a meditation and I do a breath of fire, which is a breathwork practice, a Kundalini breathwork practice. And then I set my intention after that. So I really am clearing all of the energy that I had throughout the day. I'm setting things up with my frequency. I'm bringing in that sound therapy into my life. I meditate to calm, breath of fire to activate, and then I set my intention. So Monday,
How long does this fucking take?
I mean, 20, 30 minutes.
Wow, that's
But
crazy
I'm
town.
doing it as I'm like getting ready. Like the frequency is playing as I'm in the shower,
Okay.
as I'm putting on lotion. And then I do like a 10-minute meditation. Breath of fire takes 3 to 5 minutes. And then I
Okay.
sit there after I do my breath work and I sit there to set my intention.
I thought you were like literally just like waking up and like sitting on the ground for like 20 minutes. It's like,
No.
how do you have time for this?
No, because the activations, they are meant to be played like in the background while you're doing stuff. So I will, brush my teeth, listen to the activation, take my vitamins, listen to the activation, get ready for the shower, and then switch it to the frequency. So I'm doing these things as I'm getting ready.
Okay.
So Monday and Tuesdays for me are very, very crazy. I start teaching yoga at 7:30 in the morning, and then I don't get home until after 8 o'clock. And I'm just go, go, go all day, work, yoga. I have an hour between work and yoga, and that's like my workout time. So it's really crazy. So I really set an intention every Monday and Tuesday. I am showing up as my highest, most energized, and happiest self. And that really keeps me motivated all day to be my happy, energized, highest self. And I come back to that throughout the day. When I'm feeling tired, I'll go into the bathroom, take a few deep breaths, remind myself of what my intention is. And then I set an intention for my patients because I'm sure everyone knows my job at this point, but my job's very intense and I deal with a lot of trauma. I deal with a lot of healing, and I really want to just kind of set that tone for my patients. So I set the intention for my patients. I am showing up for myself and for my healing to find the best version of me. And anytime that like I have to sit and hold space with a patient, I'll just be repeating that intention in my head. And it's a form of energy work that you're sending that energy to the patient. So I do that for my patients. And then, sorry, I'm also reading my notes. So yeah, that's kind of how I set my daily intentions. I set the intentions for my patients. In yoga, it is different, and I'll get into that in a second. But start with this as a micro habit if you've never done this before. Today, I am present. Today, I am grateful, or just I am grateful. I am present. I am the happiest person in the room. You can write these down. You can say them in your head. You can speak them out loud. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say it. You can put it in your phone, read it when you may need it. But with this practice, you really just want to be consistent with it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You were saying that like throughout the day, like go to the bathroom and like come back to your intention and like remind yourself of it. Like, how do you mentally like remember to do that or like have the space? Like, Because like I think that's part of the problem is so often we're all going through life so fucking fast and we're moving and we're like consumed by everything. And you especially like work in like a pretty hectic like work environment. So like what have you done to make it so that you can remember to like check in, like stop and like take that moment to like refocus?
I mean, again, this is a practice thing. I am very good about mindfulness type things and also working in a mental health environment. The providers that I work with are very good. Like, if you just sat with a patient for 30 minutes and you come out and you're ungrounded and dysregulated, they are like, go take 10 minutes, do what you need to do, and come back. So
Okay.
I'm just really good at checking in with myself throughout the day and like, okay, how am I feeling? Is my energy being taken from me? Am I feeling ungrounded? Am I feeling super overwhelmed? Like, and I've just kind of gotten into the practice because I'm always overwhelmed. I'm always ungrounded at work. Like, it's kind of just the nature of the job that I work. And I've kind of just gotten in the habit that every time I go to the bathroom, as I'm peeing, I will sit there and I will take 3 big breaths. And when I say big breaths, I don't mean like fully in and then open your mouth to let that energy out. So I will do that 3 times to just, that really helps me reground myself. And then I say my intention again as I'm doing that.
So if you're not at work, do you still like remember to check in, or is it more of like you've built this habit at work and then in personal life on the weekends and stuff you don't really remember?
I think it kind of depends on where I'm at mentally. When I'm on my period, like my cycle time, I have a really hard time doing it because my mental health is shit on my period. And that's probably my hardest time. But at home, I'm not as good with it as work. Just because at work, mental health is such like a focus on everybody's mind. And at home, like it's a little different. But I do feel like I've just kind of gotten into the practice that I can feel myself when I'm feeling dysregulated.
I was just gonna ask too, now that you were like saying all of this, like, do you think that being someone that has anxiety also is something that helps you remember to check in? I was just thinking like
Mhm.
I feel like getting a moment to yourself and like someone that like if I had anxiety the way that I think some people do, I think I'd need like something to be like, okay, I need to like calm down, I need to recenter. So I
Mhm.
wonder if that's like a thing too that would be helpful for people like that also have anxiety is like finding something like this to help them remember to like calm down and like refocus. Because for me, I don't have like those same struggles. I think I like if I went to the bathroom, I'm just like, oh, my brain can just like calm down for a second. And then I just start thinking about other things. I don't have these things that like overwhelm me to the point, but I do notice that like I don't set an intention for the day and I used to. And I also don't like have moments throughout the day where I'm like, I really need to like call back and like, okay, what is my intention? Because I've just completely gone into like robot mode.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a practice. Mindfulness is a huge practice, and anyone who's like, "Oh, it's easy," they're lying because it is so easy to go into like that spiral of anxiety or the spiral of like a robot when you're doing your day-to-day things or when you're at work or whatever. You have to actively make the choice of checking back in with yourself, especially with anxiety. I have very severe anxiety. I work really, really hard on my anxiety. And this is the best I've ever felt because I have put in a shit ton of work the past year with my anxiety. But with anxiety, you check out from your body, you check out from your brain. The things that you do, sometimes, if your anxiety is severe enough, you don't even realize that you're doing it. So you have to actively make that choice to come back into your body, come back into your mind, come back into your thoughts, whatever thought is coming up, and actively make that choice. Okay, I need to acknowledge what this thought is. I need to either let it go, I need to work through it, I need to write it down so I can work through it later, and I need to just check back in with myself. A lot of times, you'll see people walking with like their shoulders up in their ears, and you can just feel the tenseness on them. And that's a big sign that somebody's like kind of disassociated from their body and they just need to like relax, let their chest be open, let their shoulders be relaxed. Your jaw, a lot of people hold a lot of tension in their jaw, letting that jaw be
Mm.
relaxed. And you have to make that conscious choice to check in with yourself. It's not something that's going to come naturally for anybody.
That's one thing I will say that I do notice, but it takes me probably like at least a day, sometimes a couple of days is like it's also like an Enneagram one thing, but like we hold a lot of tension in our jaws. When I Peloton has really great like sleep meditation, so I really like to do them. I always sleep better, which has been like so interesting. I think I have more meditation numbers in my Peloton app than I have on some like workouts, which is so funny to me. But I
Mhm.
sleep so much better. Like I have a really hard time sleeping, but a lot of the times they always like remind you like unclench your jaw. And sometimes I'll like do one and I'll like all of a sudden be like, holy shit, I've been holding so much tension in my jaw for like 5 days and like my teeth will start to hurt. I like grind my teeth, not necessarily like grind them, but I'm like clenching so much that it feels like they're like grinding a little bit and my teeth get sore. And that's when I start to be like, okay, like something's up, but it takes me having that like physical pain
Mhm.
or like a reminder that reminds me of that physical pain that I've been ignoring for me to be like, okay, I need to like check in, like something's up. It's really
Mhm.
crazy.
Something that really helped me a lot when I first like started taking mindfulness times during the day, I would set timers on my phone. Like once an hour, I would set like an alarm that would go off and it would pop up and just say like kind of how you have your gratitude thing. It would pop up and say be mindful. And I would be like, okay, like I need to step away. I need to stay right here. I need to go to the bathroom. Like just take a second, leave my phone here because your phone is such a distraction and go and just check in with your body, check in with your thoughts, check in with your breath. Like some people don't even realize how they are breathing and some people don't even like know how to breathe deeply. And that's been so interesting to see in like my yoga journey
Me.
is some people like literally don't know how to breathe. And even though your body naturally does it for you, like you can control that breath a little bit to relax you or whatever you need it to do. But some people like are so disconnected from their body that they don't even notice how they breathe. So that could be a micro habit that your mindfulness minutes are is just focus on your breath. Just notice how your breath is or notice how your shoulders feel. Like notice if your shoulders are up in your ears and let them be relaxed. Like there's so many small little tweaks that you can do throughout the day.
I think one thing that's interesting too, and we say it in so many episodes where we talk about like things that we're breaking down, like we're talking right now about like mindfulness, but mindfulness is being intentional. So they're also like being mindful is you being intentional about a situation. You're putting a purpose into an action or a thought or whatever. And I think that's what's so crazy is like mindfulness is also intentionality and like all the things that we always break down when we pick like a topic. It's like, so it's this and it's also this, but they always go hand in hand and they're kind of the same thing. And it just blows my mind when I hear us like talk about it every time. I'm like, yeah, these are basically the same thing, but also not.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about yoga because you can take these practices into every day. So I teach off of intuition and all of my classes lately have been about being present. And I was like, I'm usually like, so like, I don't want to do the same theme because I teach a lot of classes throughout the week and I have a lot of like the same people that come throughout the week. And so I'm like, I don't want it to be the same thing every time, but this is what I'm being pulled to do is to be present and be silent. So I really kind of sat with that the other day and I was like, why am I getting pulled this way? And I think it's just because we are coming off of a very busy time in life. We're coming out of the holidays and we're going straight into January, which seasonal depression is such a thing. And people just are not present. They haven't been present all through the holidays because they were so busy. And then coming into like the seasonal depression worst month, they're also not being present in their body. So, by creating the intention of being present, letting yourself acknowledge the things that are coming up, because once you start to be present, the things that have been nagging you in the back of your mind, high anxiety, sitting there nagging you, nagging you, nagging you, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's been stuff that you've just ignored. And it's like a little child that's just sitting there tapping you, like, please pay attention to me. Please pay attention to me. Please acknowledge me. Like, I'm here, please. And once you are present and you listen to whatever is in your mind, whatever's causing that chaotic state in your mind, you acknowledge it. You can either let it go or you can start to work through it. So that's kind of been how my yoga classes have been going for probably over a month now is just me being more silent so that people can be present in their bodies with what is coming up. And they've been really, really beautiful. I've gotten so much from my yoga classes this last month, just from people that I don't know. It's been very interesting to see this presence. So that's kind of what my intention has been for yoga classes. Um, and being present is just honestly as easy as just coming back to your breath, noticing how you're breathing. You can notice like your necklace. If you're wearing a necklace, you can notice how that feels on your neck. You can notice your shirt. If you're somewhere that's warm or cold, notice the temperature, like very easy, simple ways to come back to presence.
It's funny that you say like come back to your breath, because that's something I literally just thought. It was in a meditation, like a sleep meditation I was doing the other night, and it said that, and I literally thought in my head, I was like, Taylor fucking says this all the time in yoga. And I'm always like, girl, coming back to my breath means fucking nothing to me. Because when the girl said it, I was like, can we stop fucking saying this? Like, I don't know why it like made me so triggered. And it made me realize, like, as you were speaking, like saying something like, come back to your body, focus on like something present, that clicks for me. But when something about breathing, something like it's this, I have these weird things with words. Like, I don't know what the hell it is, but like saying coming back to your breath, I'm like triggered. Or using childhood trauma, like things like that just trigger me. But if you say it in a different way, suddenly I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Uh-huh. It's so weird.
Yeah. And like ever since we've like kind of talked about that, I try to not use the same words all the time. But honestly, like especially in a yoga class, coming back to your
Yeah.
breath is the easiest way to get you back into your body. If I'm like teaching a hot class, it's very easy to be like, notice the heat on your skin or notice where your sweat
Notice
is
you
dripping.
sliding around.
Yeah. Like,
I think it's too because like when you are someone that's like consumed in a space like yoga and the things that you do, these are very normal words. These are things that are talked about all the time. And then for people like me who aren't like consumed by it, we're kind of like, okay, like whatever, like it's like this weird taboo, uncomfortable thing. And it's not even that it's uncomfortable, it's just foreign. And you
mhm.
don't register, like your brain doesn't register it the same way that someone that's going all the time or living in that kind of like situation is. I don't know. It was really weird hearing you say that. I was like, wow, this is like another one of those things.
Yeah, and if it does make you uncomfortable, really come back to just the clothes you're wearing. Like notice the weight of a jacket if you're wearing it. Like notice how it feels on your shoulders. Notice how it feels like around your wrists. If you're wearing like a bracelet or a watch, like notice the weight of that on your body. Like you don't always have to come back to your breath. I think I mentioned it before. A great way that I come back to my body when I feel like I'm spiraling in anxiety, I'll drink really cold water, and that coldness, like I'll notice how it feels like going down my throat. And that's a really quick way too for me to like stop a panic attack and like have that moment to like recenter. So whatever honestly works for you, but the breath is just the easiest because it's something that is already automatically happening. Your body's already automatically doing it. And it's something that you can do without anybody around you even knowing that you're doing it. So that's why I always just kind of use the breath so much.
It's
But
interesting though, because even though like this, obviously we're getting off on a tangent here, but like even you saying that, like, and you were talking about people like not noticing their breath, like I think that's why it's also a thing for me. It's like I don't pay attention to my breath. Like breathing isn't a
the
thing I'm thinking
problem,
about.
girl. That's the problem. That's the way to be mindful.
I
Like
know.
while you're peeing, just sit there and be like, hey, am I breathing more in my chest? Because the chest is a very shallow breath. Like you're not fully using the capacity of your lungs. But when you breathe down into your belly and you feel your belly as it rises and falls, that's more using your full capacity of your lungs and not a shallow breath.
First of all, how are you supposed to think about breathing into your belly while you're trying to think about peeing?
Well, like after you pee, and just like just like sit there for a second and be like, hey, like, how am I breathing? Like, I have
Yeah.
I haven't noticed this. But it's a very like once you start to like notice your breath, you will realize how calming your breath is.
Interesting. Wow. There you go, guys. This is on breathing.
I could talk about this all day. Okay, so I want to come back, I want to talk a little bit about energy. Again, I'll do like a deep dive into energy one episode, but I kind of just want to like mention it here because you can also use that to come back to your intention, come back to your presence, come back to all that. So I can see energy sometimes. And when I think about energy, it's kind of how I am able to see it. I mostly see energies when I'm teaching yoga or especially at my moon circles. Like, really, at my moon circles, I don't see the person. I mostly see like their aura or their energy. I
Do you
don't
see mine?
see the physical person. No, because you won't do breath work. So I don't ever see.
So someone has to be like doing something like that for you to like enter their space.
Well, I think it's just because it's such a high vibe thing. Like the moon circles are such a high vibrational thing. And that kind of allows me to go into like a higher vibration of myself. And I'm able to see things, I guess. Sounds weird, but
If you ever see mine, will you tell me?
of course,
Okay.
once you do breath work, that's enough to tell you.
Continue. Sorry, I just need to know.
So when I am seeing energies, I see like sparkles, like colors with sparkles. So for me, peace is like a blue teal color with like glitter in it. Love is green with glitter in it. Negative energy I see is like black, like a blacky smoke kind of color. So, and whenever I cannot see the energies, if I'm not teaching yoga and just can feel them, these are kind of the colors that I go to. So, the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because there's a really good meditation that you can do. I will record it for you guys. And it's kind of, it will help you come back to your intention. You can associate a color to something or an energetic color to something. And for people like Shelby who have a hard time just like thinking, like coming back to their breath, you can come to a color. So, love for me, the energy of love is green. And so if my intention for the day is love and I need to come back to that and I can't just think like, oh, love, or I can't feel love, I come to that color. So I'll come to like green, like I'll close my eyes and I'll start to imagine green in front of me, around me, whatever, however you want to see it. So if that works for you as well, but I will record the meditation because I did this for a patient the other day. They were having a really rough treatment and I sat with them for a long time and they were feeling just very ungrounded. And I did this root chakra meditation and root chakra is the color's red. And we breathed out the black, the negative energy, and we breathed in the red. And it was really, really lovely. So the color meditation really, really works for some people. Some people don't connect with it, but I'm just trying to give you options here.
I would say too, like this is very similar to like what you're doing. It's a Peloton thing. Matty Majacomo says that all the time, and he says, inhale the good shit, exhale the bad shit. And like that's one that's like super simple for me. So that's one that I can always think of that's really easy to be like, I need to inhale something good. I need to exhale all the bad, which is very similar to like what you're saying, like exhale the black or whatever, and
Mhm.
then whatever. So it's interesting like hearing you say that, but like as you were speaking and you were talking about these colors, I just kept thinking like people probably think that we're so crazy sometimes. Like
Yeah.
if you really think about it, like hearing these like this is all very high level stuff. And it's not even necessarily high level in like a education necessarily. It's just like a spiritual high level. And I think that so many people are so out of tune with it, especially in Utah, because their spirituality is usually tied to a religion that's
Mhm.
kind of framing things in a very different way that I think it's all so foreign sometimes. But hearing it probably really does make people think like, wow, these people are like, what kind of drugs are they on? You know what I mean? But like, this is all like just genuine, simple, basic principles, I would say. But it's
Mhm.
like, it could make some people really uncomfortable. Like hearing you say that, I was like, someone's gonna listen to this and be like, she's a fucking freak.
But the color meditation is actually one that I learned from my therapist, and I've just kind of
Really?
picked up on it, but it's a therapeutic meditation. It's not even like a
Interesting.
weird yoga spiritual thing. It's a trauma meditation. So it's
Is
actually a
there
meditation that they do in EMDR.
is there a color for yellow, like a thing for yellow? Is yellow a thing?
I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh,
Like,
you just make your
yeah,
own?
it's just that's how I
Oh.
see the energies when I am like that's just the color that I see when I'm thinking of something or when I'm in like this state. So like most people wouldn't be like, "Oh, green, that's not love." Like that would be like success or money or something. For me, that's how I see love is I see the color green with like glitter in it. And so it can be
All
whatever
of them have
you want
glitter
it
for
to
sure.
be. Yeah. Like
They
if
have to.
yellow makes you happy, if when you think of happiness, the first color you think of is yellow, then yellow's you're happy, like it can be whatever you want it
Interesting.
to be. It's not, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but that is a therapeutic meditation. It's a form of therapy. So,
Wow, my therapist never did that. She just played with her toes.
yeah, yeah. My therapist is pretty great.
You do have a good therapist. I really appreciate Brian.
So, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes, see if there's anything else. Just really start slow. If you've never done this process before, kind of like what Shelby was saying, like we've been on this self development journey for a very long time, and we've really built on micro habits. And that's how this started for me. It started as a micro habit, and I was like, hey, I need to tweak it here. I want to make it stronger here. And now, like, I can't go a day without setting an intention. And it really does make a difference, like in my job, because I share like with the people I work with, like, hey, this is the intention for the day. Like, we are showing up for our patients. We're doing this for our patients. And it's really like, it really does transform your mind. Words and the things that you say to yourself really do make a difference.
Yeah, I think the things that I would add too is like why, like what I would add to like why intentionality matters and why you should try and like focus on it in your life or when you're trying to like reach a goal or whatever, because again, goals are different than in your intentions.
Mhm.
Intentions really help you focus your energy, your mindset, your resources on like what truly matters. It's like something that's a focus tactic. So it's something that's going to put that energy into whatever it is that you're trying to do. It also helps like reduce the distractions, I would say. So if like you're heavily focused on something, you're constantly like, I want to do this. That's you being intentional. That's you constantly focus on, I have this goal. I'm not going to stop. I have a goal of paying off this debt. That means I'm not online shopping. That's being intentional. Not online shopping is being intentional so that you can reach your goal of paying off your debt or something like that. And it really does help eliminate those distractions or those mindless things that we do. Online shopping is a perfect example. Like it's a mindless thing. You see an ad or someone posts something on their Instagram story and you're like, fuck, I want that too. And there's a link. And then you suddenly, the next thing you know, you've already purchased your $40 in. That's you not being intentional. That's you being mindless and just being stuck in like the routines of stuff. And so it really just helps bring that focus in and keep those distractions away. I also would say too that like being intentional improves the relationships around you because I think Taylor's mentioned it a few times on the podcast where she would like not have her phone on her or like try and be on her phone when she was present with people. That was her being intentional. She wanted to like spend time and like pay attention to who was in front of her. So she wasn't taking pictures like she normally was. She wasn't posting on social like she used to be because that was like a huge thing that was like, I don't know. I think we all went through that stage where it was like, if you're not posting about it, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was her being intentional to improve the relationships and the memories and like the joy that she had. And it just like really encourages like thoughtfulness. And I think that if you can think of it more of like these different types of, I don't know, emotions or situations, it makes intentionality not so foreign. It's like we're all doing it in different ways. We just haven't put a label on it of intentionality.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a practice. Like, I would love to sit here
Yeah.
and say, like, oh, I'm perfect every day. And I'm just great. Like, I'm not. I'm not. And I do set an intention every day, but like I do mess up sometimes. And sometimes I have to remind myself of my intention 20 times. Like, my job in the last month has been so stressful over the holidays. And there was definitely days that I was like, fuck everyone, fuck me. Like, I do not want to be here. I'm done. I'm maxed out. I'm done. So I'm not perfect. It is something that I work on every single day, and it's not easy at all. This type of work is not easy at all. I actually had a conversation with a patient today about how this deep inner soul work is something that is so hard. And sometimes people don't get it. And sometimes people are rude about it, but it is worth it because I feel so much better than I did a few years ago. I feel so much better than I did this time last year. Like, the work that you put in does pay off, but it's not easy. And it's something that you have to consciously make a choice to do every day. It's not something that's going to come natural at all.
Yeah. I would say too, like a couple like quick examples that I could give you guys that are like me thinking about being intentional is like I know that I am like in robot mode a lot, or I can like once I finally get a break, once work is done, I can be like driving in the car with Henley and just be completely zoned out. And a big intention that I try like always focus on is like your time with her is so limited throughout the day. Like be present in the conversation, put on music that you both like make it so that it's an interactive situation rather than us both completely zoning out. And sometimes we still do, but that's me trying to be intentional of like be present in the things that she's telling me. Don't just like sometimes I'll pick her up from school and she's just like yapping away and I'm like not there mentally yet. Like I just closed my laptop to go pick her up and I have to be like, okay, be present. Don't look at your phone. Don't have music on. Just like listen to what she's telling you about your day or her day. And that's like another way that I can try and always be like more intentional or like mindful again. Like they're both kind of similar, where I can just be like, okay, I want to have these quality moments. I want to pay attention to these things, be present. And that's like an intention that I'll have. Or a big one that I've been like working on lately is like not doing things that I don't want to do. And that's being intentional. So saying no to things that don't serve you or make you happy, or realizing that they're not like serving this goal that you have that you want to accomplish, like being able to say no, that's being intentional. Or saying yes is being intentional because you're agreeing to do something, you're doing something with a purpose. So think of it as even yes and no's are simple
Mhm.
intentionalities. It's just a matter of like, are they actually serving you or not?
Yeah. And if being present with yourself is too much for you right now, be present with other people. Kind of what Shelby was saying that I did, that when I'm with my friends or with my family, I am not on my phone and I'm not posting things and I'm not texting other people. Like I am present in that space with that person. And that can be your intention. If whatever you're going through, if being present with yourself brings up trauma that you're not ready to deal with yet, then just be present with other people and other situations in your life. And that can be good enough for you right now. Like that can be your intention right now. So, whatever works for you, find a practice that works for you.
Yeah. Or just keep trying every day to fucking be better at having an actual practice. Like Taylor's was so overwhelming to me. I was like,
I
damn girl,
know.
like this is a level of like, yeah, that was crazy. But like, just don't let things like that intimidate you. Be like, okay, every day be better. Every day keep working at it. And eventually it will stack, it will get easier, and it will just become who you are. But like, if you look at it and think that's too much, I can't do it, then you'll never get there. But if you keep chipping away every day, like you'll eventually get to those points.
Yeah, for sure. I've been on this journey for a very long time and I'm a spiritual ass hoe. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, but just kidding. But no, I've been on this journey for a long time, but I started very, very, very small. So start with where you're at, meet yourself where you're at, work up from there, do it in a way that works for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I've got. That's all she wrote.
I like it. The only thing that I want to make sure I clarify really quick is goals and intentions. And I'm going to give like the quickest one that I can because I want to move on. A goal is a specific outcome that you want. So I want to lose 10 pounds. That's not being intentional. That is a goal. So if you're thinking of something like, I want to pay off debt, I want to lose 10 pounds, that is a goal. An intention is a mindset or energy behind your actions. So say I want to lose 10 pounds. I intend to be healthy and kind to my body. I intend to eat better foods. I intend to do X amount of exercises. That's the intention part. So like don't get those two mixed up and think like, oh, well, I have all these goals. Like you need to have intention behind your goals if you want to achieve your goals. And I think that's a big piece that a lot of people miss all the time.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot to come back to that. So thank you.
No worries. Are you ready for asking for a friend?
I sure am.
I'm so excited for this one, you guys. Hashtag, oh shit, where'd it go? Hashtag asking for a friend. Hashtag asking for a friend. What's with people making the mm, noise while kissing? It really triggers me. Mm, mm, mm.
I don't know. I've never noticed that before. I've never,
Have you done it though?
I don't know. Have I?
I
don't know. Probably. I don't know. Maybe
I
I need to be
personally
more present when I'm kissing. I don't know.
please make that a thing so we can do research for the podcast. I personally don't know for myself. I think people that make these noises are fucking freaks. I hear people do it and it makes me literally want to slap them. Like I can't understand why this noise is happening. I think it's a natural thing. That's why there's like Valentine's Day decorations that are mwah, you know, like it's a sound that happens when people are kissing, but like when you're actually kissing somebody, like why do you make that sound? I could see like if you're blowing a kiss, like mwah, like you want them to know I'm like blowing you a kiss. It's like an hour thing. But if you're physically kissing somebody, mwah, like why do you need to, you know what I mean? I think people are fucking freaks and I've heard people do it. I think it's weird as hell. I think there's something wrong with you. I don't think that that's like a genuine kiss, to be honest. I think you're just like doing it because you're supposed to kiss that person.
Hell, where are you hearing these things? Just like around town?
I just think maybe you don't pay attention when people like I see people like kiss and hug goodbye all the time. I don't know why, now that I
I've
think about
never seen
it.
people kiss and hug goodbye.
I like this is so silly to me. This is so funny that you haven't noticed this. I need you to start paying attention. I see people kissing all the
Okay.
time.
I literally, I don't think I ever see people kissing. Like
Weird.
where?
Also at the airport, people hug and kiss a lot, and you can be walking and hearing that. At family gatherings or like when you're around couples and stuff, and like one person's leaving, I hear it all the time. I don't know if I've ever heard you and Tony. I don't think you guys kiss when you guys like when we're like running to the store or anything.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, we don't do that. I'm not
Anyways,
weird
I'm
about
on this
PDA.
person's side. I think it's weird. I don't know why people do it. It's fucking weird. You're weird about PDA, is that what you said?
Yeah, I don't really like show PDA.
That's not very Leo of you.
I know, but like it's uncomfortable for me. Like that stuff like to do at home. Like I don't need to be at your
That's for
house like
macaroni
hanging
time.
out on your couch. Like that's weird, you know? I don't
Yeah,
know.
please literally don't ever do that.
I'm going to. Just kidding. But I don't know. Like it's weird. I'm weird about PDA. Like we don't need to kiss in public. I just think that that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard it. You need to start paying attention. You need to start like observing your surroundings a bit more. I'm telling you, I hear this all the
Be
time.
present, I guess. Yeah, keep us posted, guys, if this bothers you. If you think
I'll
people
ask, I'll do a poll. I need to be better at posting polls about our asking for friends because I really want more people's input. And we were trying to do it where we ask your opinions first and then read them. But honestly, my life is too crazy for me to be that intentional on the podcast page. I really wish I had more time to focus on this podcast. I truly do. I don't have the intention of dedicating my time to it right now. Maybe one day, but for now, we'll just post after we have the question and then we'll get your input there.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
You know, holding those boundaries. I like
Well,
it.
Janelle,
Okay, sorry, I had a hiccup. Thanks you guys for being here. We sure appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you next week.
bye.